All right, get ready because today we are going deep into just enough administration.
Or, as the cool kids say, JEA.
Say EA, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, we always hear about strong passwords and updating software.
Right.
Well, JEA is kind of like that, but for admin privileges.
Yeah, it's all about locking things down.
Yeah, locking things down tight. I like that.
And what's really cool is that even if
Yeah.
someone gets a hold of those admin credentials,
Right.
JEA can actually limit the damage they can do.
Wow. So, like, imagine, I don't know, some disgruntled employee with full admin rights.
Oh, yeah.
It's scary to think about what they could do.
It could be chaos,
Right.
but JEA helps mitigate that risk.
So we've got some articles here, and we've
Yeah.
even got some insights from a cybersecurity guru, Bert Blevins.
Oh, excellent.
Where should we start?
Well, how about we lay the foundation
Okay.
with the core principles of JEA?
Sounds
It really comes down to least privilege,
okay.
role-based access control, auditing, and scalability.
It's like multi-layered security.
Yeah, think of it like a high-security vault with all these different layers of protection.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
So least privilege, is that like, you
Yeah.
know, giving somebody a key card that only unlocks the doors they absolutely need to access?
That is a perfect way to put it.
Okay.
It's about minimizing that attack surface.
Okay.
And then you've got role-based access control, RBAC,
RBAC, got it.
which takes that concept even further,
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
Imagine a company ID card
Okay.
that only unlocks certain doors based on what your job is.
Makes sense.
Like a system administrator
Right.
might have access to the server room,
Yeah.
while a marketing manager probably
So like
won't.
need-to-know basis, right?
Exactly, need to know.
Okay, that analogy really helps.
Yeah.
And what about this auditing thing?
Auditing.
How does that fit in?
Auditing is like having those security cameras
Right.
recording every action in that vault.
Oh, okay.
JEA keeps very detailed logs of every administrative action.
Okay.
And this creates an audit trail.
So if something goes wrong,
Exactly.
you can go back and see who did what.
Exactly. Crucial for monitoring.
And for compliance.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got least privilege, we've got role-based access control, we've got auditing,
You got it.
and then there's scalability.
Scalability just means that
Okay.
JEA can be used in a whole range of environments,
So like big companies, small companies,
from small businesses
it can work.
all the way up to those giant enterprises with the really complex IT infrastructures.
Got it.
Yeah.
So we've got these core principles,
We do.
but what's the point? Like, why should anyone care about JEA?
Well, I think the most important thing is enhanced security.
Okay, tell me more.
By restricting those admin privileges,
Okay.
you're really reducing the attack surface.
Right.
And that makes it so much harder for those
Yeah.
attackers to get in.
So like you're making it harder to compromise.
It's like having those high walls and security cameras we were talking about before.
Gotcha. So it all ties together.
Uh-huh.
And I bet this helps with compliance too, right?
Absolutely.
There are so many industries that have regulations about
Navigate.
protecting data.
A lot of regulations, especially in industries like healthcare
Right.
and finance, where data breaches
Right. High stakes.
could have huge consequences.
Yeah, it's not just about protecting the company at that point.
Yeah.
It's about protecting the people they serve.
Right.
Fewer breaches, fewer headaches for everyone.
Fewer headaches for everyone.
I like it.
Yeah.
And I bet that translates to cost savings too.
Oh, absolutely. Fewer breaches means lower costs
Okay.
for things like incident response, recovery, potential legal liabilities.
Yeah, you don't even want to think about that.
You don't even want to think about it.
And then there's reputational damage,
Oh, right.
which is hard to put a price on.
It really is.
Okay, so I'm convinced JEA is a good thing, but
Right.
how does it actually work?
How does it work?
Like in practice, if I'm an IT admin,
Yeah.
what changes for me day to day?
Well, instead of having
Yeah.
free reign over the entire system,
Okay,
you would be assigned specific roles
okay.
based on your responsibilities.
So no more just logging in as super admin
Exactly.
and doing whatever you want.
Exactly.
Oh,
Each role would have very specific,
okay.
clearly defined permissions,
Gotcha.
limiting your access
Makes sense.
to only what's necessary
Okay.
to do your job.
So how do you manage all of that?
Well, JEA uses PowerShell for that.
PowerShell. Okay.
That scripting language from Microsoft.
I heard of it.
Yeah, it's basically like writing
Okay.
a really detailed set of instructions for each role.
So you're saying what they can and can't do.
Exactly.
Okay.
Dictating what actions they can perform.
I bet there's a lot of testing involved with that.
Oh, testing is crucial.
You don't want to lock yourself out.
Exactly. You don't want to lock yourself
out of something important.
It's like running a fire drill.
Right.
You got to make sure everyone knows what to do and that those systems
Are working or
functioning properly.
in that controlled environment.
In a controlled environment, exactly.
Okay, so we've covered the basics.
Yes.
But I was looking through the materials.
Yeah,
And JEA has some pretty advanced applications too, right?
it does, yes.
DevOps environments, hybrid cloud setups, even IT service management.
It really does get interesting.
Yeah, tell me about these.
Like, if you think about a DevOps environment,
Okay.
where they're constantly pushing out new code,
Yes, fast pace.
JEA lets you control access to certain tools and environments.
So the developers can do what they need to do.
Yes, give them the access they need without compromising security.
And in a hybrid cloud setup.
In a hybrid cloud setup,
I'm guessing that JEA can kind of bridge the gap
you got it.
between the systems you have on-site
Uh-huh.
and the cloud platforms.
Exactly.
So consistent security policies across the board.
It's like having a universal key
A universal key. Nice.
that works in both the physical and digital world.
Very cool.
And then for IT service management,
Yeah.
JEA can help streamline routine tasks
Okay.
while keeping everything secure.
So it's like automating those repetitive things
Yeah, exactly.
without sacrificing control.
Without sacrificing survival.
So JEA benefits all kinds of organizations.
It really does.
But I also want to talk about this Bert Blevins
Oh, yes.
and his cybersecurity insights.
He is great.
What makes his perspective so valuable?
Well, his background is really diverse.
Oh, how so?
He's a technology entrepreneur,
Okay.
an educator, and he's even a certified cyber insurance specialist.
That's impressive. A lot of hats.
He really understands not just the technology,
Yeah.
but the business and the human side of cybersecurity.
So he's got the big picture.
Exactly. He sees the big...
So it's not just bits and bytes for him.
No, not at all.
It's about connecting cybersecurity
Exactly.
to real-world problems.
And real-world solutions.
I like that.
Yeah,
Let's get into some specifics.
let's do it.
He has a video titled Oath OTP MFA Explained.
Oh, yeah.
Now, I know about multi-factor authentication, but what's his take?
Well, OTP MFA
Okay.
is basically two-factor authentication.
Right.
Using an app or a physical token.
Oh, like a little key fob or something.
Exactly, like an extra layer of security.
So even if they steal your password,
Right.
they still need that second thing.
Exactly. And he really emphasizes
Yeah.
how easy it is to set up
Okay.
and how much it increases your security.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a simple step
Right.
that can make a huge difference.
Okay, I'm sold.
Good.
Now, another video title that caught my eye,
Yeah.
Cloud Security Threats You Never Knew Existed.
Oh, yes.
That sounds a little ominous.
A little bit ominous.
What kind of hidden dangers are we talking about here?
Well, this video talks about cloud identity enumeration,
Okay.
which is basically where hackers try to figure out what cloud services a company's using.
So it's like reconnaissance?
Yeah, like a reconnaissance mission,
Okay.
gathering information.
So they can do more damage later.
Exactly, for more targeted attacks later.
Yeah, that's scary.
It is a little scary.
It makes you think that even cloud services,
Right.
which are supposed to be so secure,
Yeah, they always say that.
you still have to be careful.
Absolutely. No system is foolproof.
Okay, good reminder.
Good reminder.
Now we've got one more video to talk about.
Yes.
Cybersecurity experts reveal top practices.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
I don't want to get overwhelmed with a bunch of best practices, so let's just focus on one
Okay.
that people can apply right away.
All right, how about this one?
Okay.
Regularly review and update
Okay.
your cloud permissions.
Oh, yeah, I'm guilty of that.
A lot of people are.
I've got apps connected to my accounts
Hmm.
that I haven't used in years.
And that's the problem.
Yeah,
Are those apps still necessary?
probably not.
Do they still need access to your data?
I doubt it.
So, regularly reviewing and revoking those unnecessary permissions
Oh, yeah?
is a simple
Mhm.
but powerful way to reduce your risk.
So it's like digital spring cleaning.
Exactly. It's like pruning a garden.
I love that.
Get rid of the dead branches to make
Yeah,
the healthy ones stronger.
I like that a lot.
Yeah,
I'm definitely going to do that.
good.
Okay, so in this first part of our deep dive,
Yeah,
we've looked at the core principles of JEA,
right.
the benefits, how to implement it,
We did.
and even some broader insights from Bert Blevins.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm feeling more informed already.
Excellent.
Be sure to join us for part 2,
Yes.
where we'll keep exploring the world of just enough administration.
And its impact on the future of cybersecurity.
It's going to be a good one.
It is.
Welcome back to the deep dive.
Yeah.
You know, thinking back to how we started talking about JEA,
Yeah.
It's interesting how it's not really about locking things down,
Right.
but it's about enabling things securely.
It's about finding that balance, right?
Yeah, finding that balance between security and actually getting things done.
Exactly. You don't want to stifle productivity.
Right.
Yeah.
And speaking of balance, I wanted to go back to something we talked about before
Okay.
about Bert Blevins
Yeah.
and his expertise as a certified cyber insurance specialist.
Oh, that's an interesting connection.
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because JEA is all about reducing risk.
Right.
And cyber insurance is another way to manage risk.
It's like a safety net, right?
Exactly, like just in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, and it's becoming so important these days.
Yeah, with all these attacks happening.
Yeah, constantly on the rise.
It makes me wonder, do you think companies that use JEA get better cyber insurance rates?
I would think so.
Because they're less risky, right?
They're less risky. Insurance companies are all about assessing risk.
Right, minimizing their own risk.
Exactly. So a company that's proactive about security
Yeah.
is going to be a better bet.
So it's almost like a win-win.
It is.
Better security, lower premium.
Could even free up some budget
Oh, yeah.
for even
Yeah.
more security improvements.
Okay, so JEA could save money in the long run.
It could.
That's a good selling point.
Yeah. Weird.
But let's get back to some of those advanced applications of JEA
Okay, yeah.
that we were talking about before.
One area where JEA is really useful
Yeah.
is managing access for contractors
Oh, that makes sense.
and third-party vendors.
You don't want to give them full access.
We don't want to just hand them the keys to the kingdom.
Exactly.
But they often need access to your systems.
Yeah, to do their jobs.
So JEA lets you create these temporary,
Okay.
time-bound roles
I like that.
that give them just enough access
Right, just what they need.
for the time that they're working for you.
And then poof, it's gone.
And then, poof, it's gone.
Much better than just giving them an admin account.
Much better. And hoping for the best.
Yeah, and crossing your fingers.
It's all about that granular control,
Makes sense.
minimizing the risk of misuse.
What other tricky situations can JEA handle?
Well, it's also really helpful
Yeah,
for organizations that need to support
okay.
multi-tenant environments.
Multi-tenant, so like...
Think of a cloud service provider
Okay,
or an MSP
got it.
that manages IT for multiple clients.
So like a massive data center.
Yes, with rows and rows of servers.
Yeah,
Each one could have data from different clients.
that's a lot to keep track of.
It is.
So each client is a tenant.
Right, each client is a tenant.
Okay,
And JEA lets you define roles
okay.
that restrict access to resources.
So even if someone gets into an admin account,
Yeah.
they can only see their own stuff.
Exactly. They can only access the data for their assigned tenant.
So it's like individual security boxes
That's a great way to put it.
within a bigger vault.
Yeah, JEA is all about that granular control.
It's like a precision tool.
Exactly.
Okay, we've talked a lot about real-world examples,
Yeah.
but how does JEA actually work behind the scenes?
Oh, you want to know the magic?
I'm a little curious.
We could do a whole deep dive on the technical details.
Maybe another time?
But we can definitely give you a high-level overview.
Perfect, that's all I need.
Okay.
The concepts, no jargon.
So, at its core,
Yeah.
JEA uses PowerShell
Good.
to define those restricted admin endpoints.
Right, right.
And these configurations are like blueprints that say
Definite.
which commands users can run.
So it's like a customized menu of actions.
Exactly, based on their role.
Okay.
And because it uses PowerShell,
Yeah.
it's really versatile.
So you can really tailor it.
You can tailor it to your organization's specific needs.
Now, the articles mentioned something about registering the JEA endpoint.
Yeah, so once you've got those PowerShell configurations set up,
Okay.
they need to be registered on the system.
So it's like setting up a secure portal.
Exactly, a secure portal.
Only authorized people can get through.
Only authorized people with the right credentials.
And this is where testing and monitoring come in again.
Yes, very important.
You got to make sure it's working.
Make sure those endpoints are working correctly.
Right, like regular security checks.
Exactly, making sure everything is locked down tight.
Security is not a one-time thing.
No, it's a continuous process.
It's a journey.
It's a journey, not a destination.
You said it.
And, this brings us back to Bert Blevins.
Okay.
He really embodies that idea.
Of lifelong learning.
Yeah, of continuous learning and improvement.
In his About Me, he mentions Ironman triathlons.
He does.
Yes. And marathons.
Not for the faint of heart.
That's intense.
It takes so much discipline,
Yeah.
dedication.
It's like cybersecurity in a way.
It is. You need that same perseverance.
Yeah, the drive.
That drive to always be learning.
Because the threats are always changing.
Exactly. You can't stand still.
It's a great parallel.
It is.
It shows that cybersecurity is about more than just technical skills.
Yeah, it's about mindset
It's about resilience.
and a willingness to keep learning.
So that's what we're doing here on
Yeah.
this deep dive.
Learning about JEA.
And how it fits into the big picture of cybersecurity.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We've talked about the core principles.
The benefits of JE.
Even peeked behind the curtain a bit to
Yeah.
see how it works.
And we talked about real-world examples.
Yeah, contractors, multi-tenant environments,
It's all connected.
and of course, the insights from Bert Blevins.
A true expert.
But our journey's not over yet.
Not yet. There's still more to explore.
Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive.
Yeah.
We'll wrap everything up
Give you some key takeaways.
and some advice you can use right away.
And we are back for the final part of our deep dive into just enough administration.
It's been quite a journey.
It has. We've learned a lot.
We have.
But now it's time to bring it all home. Yeah, let's talk about what our listeners can actually do with all this knowledge.
So how does someone actually implement JEA effectively?
Well, the first step,
Eh.
this is important,
Yeah.
it's often missed,
Okay.
is to do a thorough security assessment.
So you're saying know your battlefield.
Exactly. Know your battlefield before you deploy your troops.
Makes sense.
Identify those critical systems.
The ones you can't afford to lose?
The crown jewels, yeah.
Okay, so once you know what you need to protect,
Right, then it's all about defining roles and permissions.
and I bet that's different for every company.
Absolutely. It's not one size fits all.
Okay.
But the key principle here is least privilege.
Right, only give people access to what they absolutely need.
Exactly. Not an inch more.
Like a tailored suit,
Oh, I like that.
perfectly fitted.
Yeah. No loose threads for attackers to grab onto.
So resist the urge to just make one big admin role.
Oh, yeah, it's tempting.
Right, just to make it easier.
But it defeats the whole purpose of JEF.
Yeah, it's like you're undoing all that good work.
Exactly. Better to have more granular roles.
Like a well-organized toolbox.
I like that, yeah.
Each tool has its place.
And its purpose. But things change. IT environments are always evolving.
That's true.
So JEA can't just be static.
Right, it's not set it and forget it.
It needs regular checkups.
Review and update those configurations frequently.
To match your current security needs.
Yeah, like adjusting your sails as the wind changes.
Nice analogy.
Thanks.
And what about integrating JEA with other security tools?
Oh, that's a great point.
It can't just be an island, right?
No, it's most effective as part of a larger security ecosystem.
Okay, like what kind of tools?
Privileged access management systems.
Okay.
SIEM tools for security information and event management.
So it's like layers of security.
Yeah, multiple layers.
Like a delicious security cake.
Now I want cake.
Me too.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's about making it harder
It's
for
okay.
attackers to get in.
And there's one more thing that's really important.
What's that?
Educate. Oh yeah, you can have the best tools in the world.
You can.
But if people don't know how to use them,
It's
clueless.
your IT staff needs to understand JEA,
Inside and out.
not just the how-to.
Right, but the why.
Why it's important, what the benefits are.
The procedures.
If they don't know how to use it,
Right,
you're back where you started.
basically. Yeah.
So training is key.
Ongoing training, awareness programs.
Everyone needs to be on the same page.
Yeah, it's about creating a culture of security.
Okay, those are some great best practices.
I hope so.
But what about pitfalls?
Pitfall.
Like, what are some common mistakes people make?
I think one of the biggest ones is
Yeah.
resistance to change,
Oh yeah, people don't like change.
even when the old ways aren't working.
It's comfortable.
It is. So communication is really important.
So explain why JEA is important.
Exactly. Highlight those benefits.
Address concerns.
And don't forget about success stories,
Right? Show people it works.
real world examples, so they're more likely to buy in.
Another pitfall is complexity.
Yeah, if it's too complicated, it can become a nightmare.
Like trying to juggle too many balls.
You're gonna drop something.
You are.
So start small.
Yeah, focus on the most important systems.
Crawl, walk, run.
Exactly. Don't try to do everything at once.
And don't forget about maintenance.
Oh, right. Ongoing maintenance and support.
JEA isn't a one-time thing.
It's not.
It's an investment.
But it's an investment that pays off
in the long run.
by reducing your risk.
Yeah, and making your organization stronger.
So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
what's the one thing you want our listeners to remember?
For me, it's that JEA is more than just a technical solution.
Yeah.
It's a new way of thinking about security.
I like that.
It's about being proactive,
Yeah.
minimizing risk, and making everyone part of the solution.
It all starts with that principle of least privilege,
Right, give people access to what they need
not what they want.
with that mindset.
And that commitment to continuous improvement.
Organizations can be so much more secure.
It's been a great deep dive.
I agree, always a pleasure.
Likewise.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us
We'll see you next time
on The Deep Dive.
for another fascinating topic.
Until then, stay curious.